All right, a little delayed by the holiday and Andy's funky schedule, but we are back. We are back. Remember that from The Hangover? Remember all that? Remember when The Hangover was there and funny? Hey, it's Scott Hastings and Andy Lindahl.
Did you just have a squirrel moment for like 3 seconds?
Well, no, it brought me up. Like, there's so many things I want to talk to you about, and just a heads up, if you're looking for a sports podcast, probably not this time. I've had enough. Scott's talking about it all day. Broncos have frankly depressed me. I don't want to dive any more into it. So we're going to talk about happier stuff, aren't we?
Half of my stuff?
Happier stuff. Sorry.
Oh, happier stuff. Yeah, we can talk about that. I can tell you a funny story that happened to me the other day.
Okay, you want to do that
In fact, last night, my 6-year-old daughter lost her first tooth.
Yeah, you were telling me. Now, I've had this happen. Tell everybody, because we were going to do the podcast a night ago, but we had to put it off because there was a tooth search.
Yeah, because we were searching tooth because she loses her first tooth, and especially with moms, that first tooth, that's a big deal, and you got to make sure the tooth fairy has physical evidence. Although we got to the point where we wrote a letter to the tooth fairy, which Santa, okay, tooth fairy, it's the first letter I've seen. But anyway, whatever.
So we didn't find the tooth.
So they couldn't find a tooth, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting down there, and the warden, as I call her, Mama, comes over and goes, I'm gonna look for her when she poops. I go, what? She goes, yeah, because if she swallows it, she'll eventually poop it out. I said, you're gonna what? She goes, yeah. And finally, I got her off of it. She goes, then she came back. No, I got to know that tooth. I got to have it. I go, I got gloves, and I'm like, you don't need to do. Then she read an article that the tooth is mostly calcium, and if a kid swallows it, chances are the stomach acid is either going to eat it away or at the very least make it little enough that when she poops. I said, you're actually, and she's dead serious. She's going to do it. Finally, she disappears. Put the kid to bed. Or no, not the kid's not to bed, but the kid's writing a note. All of a sudden, I hear a scream. And I go, what? And it's a scream of joy. And I found it. And she's like going nuts. I go in there where we were. Well, she's in the room with the lights off. I turn the light on. I found it. And there's this little bitty kid's baby tooth, right? Kid's all happy. We can take the note away. We don't have to put that underneath there. I go, how'd you find it? Now, this is the intriguing thing that's kind of interesting. One, we've gone from she was about ready to search my 6-year-old kid's poop.
Yeah.
To I just got my black light flashlight I carry with me. I go, what? You have a black light flashlight? Now, I'm thinking I could have used that in the late 70s in the dorm with the posters and everything. That would have been cool as hell. And she goes, yeah. I go, she's a flight attendant. I carried around. I always check the rooms now. To her, it's for bed bugs.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm like thinking, well,
yeah,
someone murdered on that thing, or just have a big wild night. But so not only was Mama going to check the poop, then she's got a black light flashlight that's shown it. Turn all the lights off in the room, all over the floor, and the tooth glows. Because you've been going to a party that has black light, and you see the mouths always glow. Found this little glowing ember in the corner, picked it up, and found the tooth. So the person I'm with, currently with,
sure,
is willing to go through poop and carries a black light flashlight. And I'm like, I don't know if she's well prepared and determined or a little weird.
You're living with some CSI going on.
Right?
Yeah. So here's the deal. What is it about Kids First that turned mom into, behavior of serial killers? Not the murdering or nothing, but you're keeping teeth and hair. Think about it.
Didn't HBO have some little scary show on, a series that a year or two ago, and it was some dude that would come and
The Outsider
kidnap the kids and pull
eat
all
their
the
brains.
teeth, and pull all the teeth,
yeah.
and he had a body made of teeth. Was that The Outsider?
No, The Outsider was something similar to that, but yeah, it was. Well, think about it. I mean, Buffalo Bill did stuff like that, and then the lotion was in the basket, and somebody was in a hole.
Baby put the lotion.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's moms, though, is it not? Moms?
Well, it is with moms. That's why they appropriately are called mama bears, because that is true.
Mama bear keeping a tooth?
Tying into sports, we saw that from Drew Lock's mom. It don't matter. Don't matter if you're 6 years old, straining poop, or tweeting for your 24-year-old son who's an NFL quarterback. I mean, Mama Bears, come out.
Don't do that, Mama Lock. That's one of the reasons why I don't really want to do sports on this one is Mama Lock. But I will say this. I said this to Nate today. Tell me this. When you see the tweet with the Notes app pulled up, that means some crap's going down, right?
Yeah.
And if it's a female that has the Notes app going up, well, you might as well just forget about it.
Yeah.
You might as well forget about it. That's next level stuff. You know that is going to be a mea culpa. We've had two prominent females, Drew Lock's mom and Mary Bolin Wallace or whatever, Mary Beth Bolin Wallace, going to the old Notes app to let us know how they feel about us.
And not only feel about that, then you've got formerly known as Mrs. Scottie Pippen going on Instagram, getting on it, and her son having to use the Notes app going at mom.
Yeah.
Boy, it's been a crazy. Listen, I have to admit this. And listen, we all got social media. And you remember when it first came up and all the radio boss, Steven boss, you got to have it, you got to have it. And then people get fired. You can't say that. Well, you told me to have it. But if you can't say this, we've had guys that go against a team or another, all of a sudden gets a call, the PR staff. I mean, I got called out by the Broncos a handful of years ago. And it taught me a lesson because I'm a Bronco fan.
Right.
I happen to have called the games for a decade. I've done coverage of them for, another 20 years on top of that. And I became a fan. And this is from a kid who grew up a Chiefs fan in Kansas, right? Came here, started covering the team, got to know Elway and Schlereth and Habib and
Shannon Sharp
and Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey and Terrell Davis.
John Lynch.
All the guys, right? I became a fan. And now it's kind of cool because I get to talk crap on the radio, but I'm a fan. But I would drink and watch the games. I don't have to do the little no BS post game shows or anything. I get to go full on nachos, hot dog eating, beer drinking, swilling, fan.
You're all up in the game day.
And so I'm there, and what I learned, because, man, I was starting to get upset. Never was a Mike McCoy fan, and I am just throwing out, they're playing terrible. This might have even been the year they were 14-2, or, it was during the Manning time, I think, or right before one of the two. And
Probably it was 2012.
And I'm just tweeting out stuff. See, finally I get called out. I get a phone call or a text from Patrick Smythe or somebody like that. Blah, blah, blah. And then I realized, I went back and read him, started getting a little angrier and angrier. And then I realized, and I self-edited myself with the phone gets put away at halftime now.
Yeah.
In fact, now it doesn't even come out for the early game because I'm a fan. And that's where Twitter, kind of how Twitter has gone and on social media where it was kind of fun. And everybody had fun, and hey, look at my picture, look at my niece, blah, 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 to where you're a sorry SOB, blah, blah, blah. It's turned to ugly to where I don't even hardly check my social media anymore.
Well, see, where I'm with you is, remember when we first had Facebook and you'd post a funny status, and it'd be like our little locker room that where we couldn't be, kind of like our fantasy league. Everybody made fun of each other. Nobody was sensitive. Right. Nobody got upset. Nobody was calling you out for talking trash to each other, and now it's just like you said. Now everyone's just looking for reasons to call you.
Well, then it always turns. It turns from kind of fun, family and friends get to know everybody to, hey, she's kind of hot.
Yeah. Hey, we were not meant to keep up with every person we've ever met in our life, right? There's a reason why you're supposed to let the high school sweetheart go.
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't talked to you in 22 years.
Marriage is hard. Don't have every girlfriend you've ever met in your life around there at Facebook.
Knowing your stuff.
A message away. Look, man, I guess we'll hit the elephant in the room. I guess to play off your story, when I learned it was the San Diego game, 2012, where they were down 24-0 at the half, and I'm just lighting it up, and this sucks, and da-da-da-da. And then they come back and win that game. And how stupid did you feel? How many people, and I've tried to be better. Now, I've let it get the best of me this year, but that's unfortunately because I just don't feel like they're going to come back. The only comeback experience I had to deal with was the San Diego game in the fourth quarter when they played one good quarter out of four.
Right.
But for the most part, I try not to be the guy where, like you said, you're going to go back, look at the tweets, you're going to feel like a moron for what you said in the first quarter when, Because, again, you and I talk about it with Red Zone. You got to see what the full story is.
Yeah.
But it's been hard. This week has sucked, okay? This is the only Bronco commentary I'm going to offer up. You want to hear the rest of the stuff? Listen to us on the radio. And we're not trying to be jerks. I'm just tired of talking about it because
you know what? Because of what I just said, we're fans.
Yeah, I love this team. You know this. I love this team.
And it hurts you to be and listen, and our job is to be paid to be critical.
Yeah.
And
tell it how it is.
I was told a lot of years ago that be critical, don't pile on.
Right.
And so I've always kind of kept that, right? But when you care so much, this phone and this social media is too close.
Look, man,
it's one thing to take your shoe off and throw it at your own TV.
Yeah. We weren't. Like I just said something about Facebook. The problem with Twitter, in my mind, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'll have any of it when I get done. I may have something to keep in touch with people. But, hell, you can do that over Instagram, really, if you want to, right?
Or you could do it on text messaging.
You can, I know. Or you can actually call and have a conversation. But, I've got a bunch of –
I
know. Trust me, I got a bunch of younger friends.
I get freaked out every time you call me during the day. I'm like, oh, my God.
You know who dealt with it the worst was Romy. When we were producing shows and I was she's like, why are you bothering me? Because we got to talk about this show. What do you mean, why am I bothering you? We got to talk about the show. So anyway, my guy Will, who was on my KOA show, did the same thing too. I could just hear the begrudgingly tone in his hello. Hey man, no hello. I need to talk to you because I learned it from you.
But
Tell
you know
me
what?
something about your weekend because you may spur a thought that I didn't think was going to get me going down some road.
But some more insight of our growing up in radio, if you will. We had some good years, at KOA in that. Our show didn't start till 3, and we would meet almost every day for lunch.
Yeah.
I would say minimum 4 days a week.
Yeah, and you were paying, so after a while I did feel guilty. Now it's 2 years later.
But a whole bunch of meals. But I mean, for the most part, our group in its entirety would meet minimum of 4 days a week, sometimes 5, sometimes 3, but I mean, average probably 4 days a week at least. And we would sit there, and the place we'd always go to, Big Bill's, was or the one Mexican place that you, me, and Stink used to go to.
And
no,
Chez Jose.
Chez Jose.
Not Jose O'Shea's. That's in Green Mountain. We went to Chez Jose, which is down University.
Right.
Support local businesses. Thank you.
But we would meet from basically noon to about 2:55.
Yeah.
And the music started at 3:05, right?
Yeah.
And there's days we're running in the thing. But on one hand, I mean, we took notes here and there, and we planned stuff here and there, especially bits. But there was times that we would come in, and we didn't have necessarily a rundown written, but we talked about eight or nine things. We would just kind of keep that 3-hour lunch conversation going for the next 4 hours.
You know what I've always felt bad about is rundowns. You talk about a rundown so people know what we're talking about. A rundown is kind of, we don't do scripts in radio, but it's kind of like the outline to your paper, if you will, right? But I learned from you, like you wanted something that reminded us of some of the things we kind of had out there, but we weren't. I've had producers, whether it's been Romy or Will or Mark Springer now, or they were like, why am I giving you a rundown? You don't even look at this thing. Well, because I come to live in the moment. I want to do in-the-moment radio if I can. Yeah, you got to plan some things out. Yeah, we got to get – how many times have you and I scheduled an interview, and then by the time you get to the point, you're like, I kind of don't want to do this interview. I've gone another way. Yeah. Something's happened I didn't expect. Now, it's a big star, some name like that, no big deal, then yeah, let's do it. But there's a lot of times where you pre-plan something, and by the time you get there – it's not relevant. It's not. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the moment to do it.
And there's not a lot of people, to be honest with you, and this kind of how I guess we're doing this thing. But in radio now, I mean, everyone wants so much control. It's a little bit. It's a little bit the analytics of baseball and football and basketball that are starting to slowly take over. And I had someone tell me, you know why analytics are so popular now? He said, because all the owners are billionaires, and you can't put heart and soul and cohesiveness in front of an owner, but you can put X's and O's and numbers. You can put this number, this percentage. They figured that out because they made billions of dollars reading numbers.
Yep.
Right. And it kind of made sense when the guy made it to me like that. But, the best shows I ever have a heart and a soul about it, kind of like a good team. Can't really put that on paper and describe it. You just know when you're amongst it. Listen, and I guarantee you, because you and I did shows together, but then we've been apart for a lot of years too. I guarantee you had, looking back, being fair, going, man, that was a struggle. I mean, that was an absolute, that was every day going in. I didn't know if I wanted to go in. Right?
Yeah, plenty of them.
Yeah.
But there's other times where, like I would tell you this, I worked with Tyler Columbus and James Gomez. Man, I do an afternoon show with those guys on Heartbeat. I don't want to wake up and have to be the first thing on the air ever again. If I have my say, I will never do that again, okay? Because Tyler and I both, who really is a morning person? And, Tyler, I give Tyler some credit because I've worked with some athletes, and you've dealt with it. You and Stink, for those that don't know, you're different breeds. There's some athletes that just want to show up and have it put in front of them, and this is what we're doing. You and Stink, no, we're thinking this out. We're talking about. I'm trying hard. This is my name. I'm taking pride in this thing. Tyler was going through a lot of stuff. His mom was battling a tough fight with cancer that y'all learned about since then, and he never showed up, and he never let that be an excuse. He always wanted to do good radio. Now, you've been around me. Morning's not my time. I need a little minute to get going, I need a little – I told you I'm doing this Starbucks job. I'm actually having a lot of fun doing it, but I always hope, there's a few different jobs that you do, whether you're making it or you're greeting people at the window or you're kind of being the bar back, if you will. I always hope they just put me on the coffee so I can just grab the stickers and make the coffees and not, at least I get in there usually around 6 every day. It's about 7:30 before I want to be happy-go-lucky guy. You know what I mean? And, when you're doing radio, you don't have time to warm it up. So I would do any show with Tyler again. And Ed and Romy, I think Ed and Romy, we could have had some fun, but they didn't get behind it, and Ed saw it, and that kind of changed some things, and so it kind of left it to me and Romy was new, and Romy did a great job. Romy did a great job with the challenge, but she went from just trying to figure out how to be a producer to I was like, well, now you got to be the host because Ed's pissed off at the company. So he ain't going to be here on a moment's notice. And so that's why I've got great respect for how hard Romy worked and what she did. But again, Romy, like some of the people we've been around, Romy, for example, everyone just thought, oh, you're hot. No, Romy showed up and worked, man. Romy went to work, had like a real job when I met her, did 4 hours of cheerleader prep, which, by the way, those cheerleaders are doing 4.5 hour practices 2-3 times a week, and then would come and hang out and do an hour pod.
I think a bunch of them are
doing
an hour or so of lunges every day.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
At least it seems like it.
Yeah. A lot of.
We got too serious for a while.
Anyway,
big boy had to show up.
Hey, so here's we can get off that. Here's the big thing that I wanted to say. I don't like talking about the Broncos the way I have to. Like you said, I am pissed off Mondays when we're talking about a bad loss. And I'll tell you right now, Scotty, I'm terrified. I've never felt this way. Terrified what Monday is going to bring. I'm trying to be positive because they always surprise us, but I can't handle watching any more Kansas City ass whoopings anymore, man. That pisses me off.
Well, and let's be honest, you bring this up and it made me think this. There was somebody wrote an article, might have been in the Post. I didn't read the entire article or anything, but it was, all we want to do is show up and play hard and just put a good showing on. And I'm like, when did the Broncos turn into that team?
I know, man. I know.
When did they turn into the team that there's writers in this town say, hey, just come in and make a good showing? Well, what's a good showing? Lose by 17 but score 20 points?
Right.
Is that a good showing? Lose 37-20? Is that a good showing? Be more than they average? I mean, is that a good showing?
Well, but Scotty, sadly, you and I are football fans. I want to watch. I don't want to be so bored with your game. I'm thinking about buying Red Zone channel at halftime because I want to see some actual offensive football.
Right.
And it's been that way for 3 years now, man. 3 years. This offense is brutal to watch at times. Their first 15 suck. They suck at the first 15 plays. Are you kidding me? Well, how do you suck at the first 15? Right?
I don't know. I've always said this, and I've been big with the Nuggets. They score 120. Now, defense, you got to win championships. Okay. You're not good enough to win a championship. So, score 120, guess what you're going to do? Every night you're going to put so much pressure on other teams that you're going to win more games than you probably should, right? And two, guess what you're going to be if you're scoring 120 every night in the NBA? Fun to watch.
Entertaining.
Yeah. and conversely for the Broncos, same thing. Listen, if you're throwing 27 a game and you're 4-7, you know what there still is a little glimmer of? Hope.
Yeah, and guess what else? They want to actually put you on TV instead of being the only the two markets getting it are you and the team you're playing, which is what they've been.
Yeah, but when you're averaging 17 points a game, you ain't no fun.
Right.
The league average is 25, and you're averaging 17.
Defensive football is only fun if you're winning the games, as we saw in 2015. Otherwise, defensive football, I appreciate it. I don't want to watch it for 4 more years.
You know when defensive football is good? February 3rd on a Sunday with 100 million people watching.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
And you're playing an offensive team that has no defense to fall back on. All right. Well, there's some Broncos.
But anyway, there's our Bronco thing. And seriously, if you listen to Andy and I, either one of our shows during the day, we honestly, you and I worked with Lou from Littleton, who got a gig because he was a fan that used to call in to the radios all the time. You and I are fans, and I'm not afraid to get on people because I'm a fan. But after a while, dude, there was a part of me that I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, and that Kansas City Vegas game was on. What a freaking game!
I know.
Was that not a fun game to watch?
Yeah.
And then the game after was like, I can't even remember after, was the Rams and somebody, and you're like, dude, what a game! These are games. And we haven't seen that in a while.
No, it doesn't feel like the Broncos are playing that same kind of football. Here's all I'll say, and again, I got some other things I really want to get to tonight, but I'll just say this.
You got your lights up, which I'm really happy for you.
I've been accused of this, but you know me. If I'm really driving home, I am a fan, but I pride myself on this. I've been around guys like you and been around Logan and been around Schlereth and been around Diaz-Infante and Tyler. I've been around a lot of football players that have told me how it is, okay? I've been around Jeff Legwald, who comes at it from the scouting point of view, and Brian Zanders used to share some stuff. So I've had a lot of people kind of round out my football education. If I'm hammering something, I'm not doing it to be a dick. I'm doing it to try to get you to see. And I guess I know what went down. There's a lot I can't say because people need to trust you. And if they feel like they can't trust you because you run your mouth, you don't get to tell people the full story. But I'll tell you this. It wasn't as simple this weekend as some little mask in a couple of minutes break it. What you did, you got yourself into the problems. Now, I think the NFL wanted to make an example of them.
Yeah.
I absolutely did. But don't volunteer to be the example, and that's also what they did. And I don't think the full story's out there.
Yeah, and the full story may not ever get out. And I think there's so much, first of all, and we've got away from this as a society that sometimes the individual is responsible.
Yeah, and you got to go and say, "Hey, I screwed up." And it's then, not fun.
And then there's others that have got to say, "Well, listen, hey, I don't know. I don't even care. To be honest with you, I don't care. The league did make an example, and even Goodell coming out and said, well, this was just a contact. If this was afraid they were spreading it, we would have moved the game. Well, that seems kind of contrary. I mean, I understand moving the game because you don't want it to spread, but close contact, I mean, why wouldn't you want to move the game and wait a little bit, Hey. But this was an example for 31 other teams.
But it worked.
We'll see.
Here's as Bronco fans. this is why I'm going to tell you that it worked, because guess what? Blake Bortles isn't hanging out with them anymore. He's being kept in reserve.
And there's a whole bunch of other teams doing the same thing.
So guess what? The NFL got its way, and it scared everybody because the fines weren't working. And at the end of the day, you and I both know, I've said this, it's a TV show. They want to put on their TV show. And proof of it is you forced that stupid-ass Baltimore-Pittsburgh game down our throats so Pittsburgh can continue their run at the undefeated season. You want to know another reason why the Broncos didn't get a break? You were facing the Saints and now the Chiefs. They're not looking to help you out. They need those two teams to get through the season so they can have their playoff seedings, so they can go about their playoff TV show. Mm-hmm. It's all a damn TV show. And the Broncos, unfortunately, right now, owner, quarterback, whatever you want to say that it is, they're not relevant enough for the league to care. So you volunteered to be the punishable horse, and that's what you were.
Well, last thing I'll ask you on this, Ed. If instead of being Oh, were they 4-6?
Yeah, they were 6-4.
If they are 6-4 or 7-3,
and Drew Lock's up for his first Pro Bowl, and TV ratings are high.
Would they have moved the game?
Probably, yeah. They're probably not getting hammered. Probably. I mean, I can't say because again, I think those quarterbacks the quarterbacks should have hung out and done their deal.
Yeah, whatever.
And they made themselves a target.
But here's another thing too, and listen to this: if your mom caught you smoking cigarettes in the upstairs bathroom and got on you and whooped you and did other stuff, are you never smoking a cigarette again, or you just never smoked a cigarette again in the bathroom?
No, I hear you. I heard your show.
I mean, right?
Drew Lock's mom told us. Laura Locke Rocks told us on Twitter in her big notes app thing. Well, now they'll just go hide. All right, whatever.
As long as we don't know, we don't care.
As long as no. And
you know what? You know what? The story though. Also, there had to be a snitch in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah, there had to be a little bit.
Somebody said something about something,
and let somebody that shouldn't know.
Right.
And then
because remember the Broncos sent the tape in, hoping the Broncos tried
after
to go.
It was asked to get it. I thought. You think it was a preemptive strike?
I think the Broncos tried to go college football of we've learned something, so here it is, and since we're telling you, please just cut us a break. And instead, the NFL said
let me
no.
ask you this. So and if that were the case, same thing with my cigarettes up in the upstairs bathroom, you're gonna voluntarily telling yourself ever again?
Well, no, I think the NFL's here's the deal. Papa Joe Ellis came and called. Here's how I know not everything was – here's how I know some of the stuff I've been told is on the up and up. Papa Joe Ellis came out this morning or this week, talked to both Elway and Fangio, and both seemed to be in a bad mood. Fangio had to meet the media. Elway had to go on with our guy Dave. Neither seemed to be in a terribly good mood, which means they got the talking to. Yeah. So I think everyone's on notice, and we'll leave it at that. I love you, and I love those that listen to the pod. I'm sick of talking about this. I don't want to talk about it. At the end of the day.
Meanwhile, 40 minutes into our podcast.
Yeah, I know. But it's just, I don't want to, I'm so tired of dealing with this. I just want to talk about a good football team again, but I guess that's for next year. So here's what I want. So here's a couple things.
Hey, you know what? And that shows you're a fan because this ain't good. Hey, Kyle Trask. Let me just throw that name out. You listen to my show.
No, I heard you. Or the BYU kid.
The BYU kid, but he's going to go in the top 6.
Well, draft order ain't set yet, son.
Hey.
They got 5 games. You can't tell me you're feeling good about any of the 5 except maybe the Chargers.
6'5", 240.
Trask or the BYU kid?
Trask, Florida. 71% completion percentage, 34 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Yeah, I know, but
come on now. And you know what? And here's the most important stat. Already looks good in orange and blue.
Fine, let's do it. Hey, I'm telling you this. God, we just can't seem to get off this, can you? I'm telling you this.
I was trying to be funny.
Drew Lock needs some competition. I don't want any more. It's your job. We tried that this year. Now you got to win it. Yep. Now you got to earn it. I'm not saying cut the kid.
Hey,
make him earn it.
You're a big Nightmare Before Christmas guy, right?
Yeah.
Pumpkin King.
Yeah.
He got a big pumpkin head.
Who's that? Drew Lock?
Oh yeah.
Does he?
For a little bitty dude, man, he's got a big round.
Noticed, but now,
seriously,
no, he got himself a bit of a melon.
He got a bit of a melon now.
A bit of a situation on the dome.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. I had a good friend of mine. He's actually in town. He'll hate me if he's not listening because he knows how much I love him, and that is a sincere love I have for this guy.
Which means you're about to tell us one whopper of a story.
Well, this guy nickname in high school was Melon. Because he had a big head, right? I mean, and not one of those. Hey, look at me, I'm the star quarterback. Big heads,
right?
I mean, he had
genetically a big ass dome.
Genetically, he had a nice melon, right? I mean, God bless him. His nickname was Melon. I got to just tell you a funny story. So we had a junior college in town that won back-to-back national junior college championships in basketball, pretty good team. And so you would go out there on Saturday nights because high school played on Friday, I think. Saturday nights you go to the JUCO game. And he was in, for some reason, I don't know how it was, this is when we were in junior high, he was in some sort of gymnastics class. So, they bring out halftime entertainment. Well, it's these little cats, going up there, jumping over little boards and tumbling, doing, it was like this tumbling class. Well, then they got a trampoline set up. Bam, bam, bam. And we're already kind of making fun of Melon because he's down there, right? That's our boy. We hang out with him. Dude gets up on the trampoline.
Melon.
Dave, boom, does a flip. Okay, fine. Come back around through the second time. Boom, does a flip. Goes too far over.
Over rotates.
Yeah. So hits, doesn't land on his feet, so now he's going forward. We're thinking he's going right off the edge of the mat. It doesn't. His head goes right between the springs, between the mat and the frame. His head goes right and gets stuck. He can't get his head out from the thing. So now, I mean, imagine the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in your life. Here's your boy. Here's his boys up in the stand. We're all sitting, about 8 of us up there in the stands watching. He's down it, and we're dying. And now you can see his head just turn red from not only hanging down below the springs, because his body's, it's like an ostrich. His body's on top of the trampoline, and his head's stuck down below, and it's getting red. Man, it's getting red. And I don't know if it's from the blood rushing to the head or if all of his boys, he knows all of his boys. Man, they finally had to get 2 people, pull on each side of the springs, popped his head out. I literally almost wet myself up in the stands at this game, right? And we're like, dude, don't say. And, game starts. And all of a sudden, these people that tumbled are trickling back in. No, it ain't there. To his credit, about 10 minutes gone in the second half, though, here comes Mello walking up. Sit down, no one says something. And damn, somebody said, damn, you look like your head was really stuck. And our whole section started just dying. Oh, my God. Anyway, so if you've ever been embarrassed, try doing something. Nothing worse than doing something in front of your boys are bad, because they're going to let you have it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And nothing like known to having a big head and then getting your head stuck. I mean, that's, if you hadn't known us having something else big got stuck, you're like, hey.
Well, I mean, so poor Melon. Melon, we all feel
and here's why it's bad, me telling that story. I know I can give you his name. Melon lives in Denver. Me and him are still boys.
No, we'll find out if Melon returns the next call or texts you.
Melon, I'm sorry.
Well, nobody knows who Melon is.
No.
Unless they know.
I'm not going to tell you his name either. I'll tell you later. But he's a great guy. One of the all-time great human beings you'll ever want to know.
So, I've got a couple ways I can go. Let's go this way first, because I want to tell you about being truck guy.
Oh, God. So you finally got into truck guy.
I'm now truck guy. Stink's been making me truck guy quite a bit, quite honestly.
Stink was truck guy for a couple of years. He got out of that quick.
Hey, I owe Stink so much. I might have to just leave the truck over there in case he needs it. But you and Stink, luckily you got a truck. You two, you and Stink got the list so long I might have to leave the birth of a grandchild to come help you. That's how much it's owed. But
all you got to say is you're truck guy. And every guy who's owned a pickup in his entire life knows what truck guy means. Everybody knows the definition of truck guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm happy about is I didn't become truck guy until I was in my 40s. So, my brother's got to move, and he's just hiring movers. So, luckily, truck guy ain't getting called on then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but there's going to be some little boxes he's going to move on his own.
Yeah, well,
I guarantee your brother will still call you.
We'll see.
Yeah, because of little personal things that you don't want on the back of a truck.
Well, he's got a truck too, but he doesn't have it. You and I got the big trucks. He's got the Toyota, but that's enough.
The little big Toyota,
the toy truck. Yeah. He's got the toy truck,
pretend truck.
Which you all wanted the toy truck, but
no, the only toy truck I ever wanted was the one that the kid got at the end of Back to the Future.
Yes, that was the toy truck.
Yeah, now that's the truck you want.
Yeah. But that was back when all you were worried about was doing a little making out in that back. You ain't dragging nothing else around, right? Maybe putting a 10-pack there. So I was truck guy. I got to get your opinion on this because I don't know how to feel. I saw a tweet today where Twitter's become the news more than the news, right? Apparently, Warner Brothers has decided that every movie they're releasing, and they're starting with the Wonder Woman one, but for the next 31 days or something, everything they release to theaters, you're going to be able to get on HBO Max at home, so you do not have to go to the theater to see the new releases. As a big movie guy, are you excited for that?
Do you still got to pay for it?
No, HBO Max comes free with your HBO subscription if you got it. Now, I'm sure that subscription is going to go up, but,
Yeah, well, that'll be kind of cool. I mean, there is some. I like movies. I like going to movies. I like the privacy. You know, when I was doing Channel 2 News, and their news from 9 to 10, and so I would go do the news with the sports with Jim Conrad. We'd get done, get about 10 or so. And back then, before we were worried about high crime, I guess, there was a little theater right down the street that started movies like at 10:15, 10:20.
right?
I could get out, do our teas for the next day, boom, 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 be over there. The fam and the kids are all asleep. I would go over there, get me a large soda.
Popcorn.
My partake into something that wasn't quite legal at the time.
Sure.
But it's legal now.
The devil's lettuce.
Got a little lettuce. Go watch a movie. I will tell you, I tell them myself, because I don't do that anymore. I really, really don't.
Now you do chill CBD. Look them up.
Yeah,
Get off
but
with
there's
code
no
altitude.
THC
There's
in
no
that.
THC.
No THC in that. But I did that one time. Went over that movie, and it was Pulp Fiction. I'm in the movie all by myself. Got me a big soda, got me my popcorn, put some peanut M&Ms in there. had a little lettuce on the way over.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
You're ready.
I'm sitting in the movie. All of a sudden, the movie's over. And I'm like, well, he was dead. How is he back in the movie? What happened? And I honest to God, I had to go back again like 2 days later, sober, complete sober, and watch the movie, because I said, was I so lettuced up that I missed what? How did Travolta get killed and then come back?
All right.
Not to spoil Pulp Fiction for you.
It's 2 decades old. Guess what? Bruce Willis is dead the whole time in The Sixth Sense.
It's so old. Now they got the two dudes doing a commercial on TV.
Yeah. You know another reason why I think that happened to you? Because Pulp Fiction's a little overrated. Like, I don't mind it, but it's a little overrated.
No.
Come on, man. I was with a girlfriend watching that one. All I was thinking about was what was going to happen after the movie. I wasn't paying attention to all that dialogue. Blow some stuff up. Quit talking so much.
Oh, that was a cool movie, man. But see, that's not a girl movie. That's not there are some action movies you can go to with the lady.
Oh, my girlfriend loved it at the time.
Yeah, but did you marry her?
I wanted to.
Okay.
Got dumped for a guy named Joshua. Drove me nuts that she would call him Joshua.
He does a midday show on the show.
I was like, no. His name's Josh. Let's just go with Josh. Stop with the Joshua.
Well, Joshua's biblical.
Whatever. His name's Josh. Why are you throwing out the Josh? But I guess she called me Andrew, so that was her thing. Everyone else called me Andy. Did you ever have? I guess Scotty.
No.
Scott.
I was Scott my entire life till I became a grown ass man, and Logan started calling me Scooter and Scott. Never in my life was I ever called Scotty or Scooter until I started working with Logan, and then I became like the little brother, and I'm Scooter and Scotty, and I'm like, I honest to God, none of my friends ever growing up called me Scotty or Scooter or nothing.
Because you're 6'11".
Oh, yeah, but then all of a sudden I become a grown man, and everybody wanted to call me Scooty. Scooty.
I used to wreck fools in the NBA. You're going to call me Scooty.
I still get dudes who go, Scooty, oh, man, I love your show.
What?
Yeah, Logan made it okay to call me Scooty.
Well, I always knew a girl was into me for a while if I got the full name treatment. So do you have a movie? I fired one off. What's overrated for you? I mean, look, I don't mind Pulp Fiction, but I ain't stopping if it's on TNT. It's not The Departed.
Well,
you know what was on the other night that I like? Seven. God, I love Seven.
I don't like scary movies.
I just like how twisted it is. What does that say about me? I
love
how twisted Spacey is. Yeah. In order for his plan to work, Brad Pitt's got to murder him. He's got to be... rage, whatever it is.
Revenge or whatever.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No, I didn't like that movie. That movie scared the heck out of me.
All Brad Pitt had to do was not shoot him.
Yeah.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
And it was his girlfriend's head.
Yeah, no, it was his wife, his pregnant wife.
Yeah. So no, I didn't like that.
Really,
you know the one that I thought overrated movies that came out in the last few years, The Revenant.
Yeah, that was terrible. I watched that on a Bronco flight. I'm like, damn, dude, it's nothing but misery.
Yeah.
And it's dark.
And there's no action.
No, you're just walking around. Bear mauls you. You're crawling after your kid for 3 hours. And you know what? I realized that in 20 years old. Well, guess what? We're saving you some damn time. Don't watch The Revenant.
Yeah. I thought The Revenant was overrated.
Who liked it?
Well, the Academy did, obviously.
Okay, but the Academy sucks. Give me a movie you love that the Academy loved.
God, I don't know.
Thank you. My point is made.
I'll tell you one I liked. They like La La Land.
Is that okay?
The musical.
What about the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Brad Pitt?
I
DiCaprio
actually like that.
That's
movie.
a pretty good one, right? Was that a big deal? I can't remember. Was that a big deal at the Oscars?
I don't remember if it was or not.
I do want to. I've been meaning to watch Star Is Born because
Very good.
That's really good.
Very good.
But again, I've got it recorded, and I think it's sat on my DVR for 3 years.
Well, I remember the Barbra Streisand, Chris Christopherson. It's better than that one.
Wait, is that a remake? Is A Star Is Born a remake? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Seriously.
Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson, the New York City guy? Is that who that was?
Well, the guy that was in Blade was the guy that taught Blade how to be a good vampire killer.
I know it's crazy.
No.
But it's true.
No, that's Chris Cross.
Oh,
that's Chris Cross. No, not Chris.
Christopher Cross.
That's Christopher Cross.
Cross had
Chris
his
Cross.
pants on.
Yeah.
They were jumping.
Yeah. That was Christopher Cross. Christopher Cross. Yeah. Great album, by the way. But no, this is Chris Christopherson. He was the old dude in Blade.
Okay.
Wesley Snipes, another good movie. But he was the old guy that was Blade's, mentor and taught him how to do stuff and all that stuff. That was Chris Christopherson, who also, which I didn't know, was an actor. I never thought he was a great actor. But not only was he an actor, but he was a musician. Like he had a top 10 hit before. And he sang in The Star Is Born.
Did he?
Yeah, he was like an old gruff country singer.
You know what I liked about that one that reminded me? Was it the Jeff? Who was? Oh man, you're gonna kill me for not.
Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, what was that movie that he did where he's the country star and he's still trying to go around and play some
That's
gigs?
a good movie.
That's a good movie.
Good movie.
That's a good movie.
And he's just drinking and hoeing.
Yes.
Yeah. And kind of caught up with him.
Yeah.
But then he gets to write the song, becomes a giant hit with the Irish dudes, the country singer that he hooks up this hit with.
Yeah. What about another hot movie take? I get Mark Johnson so angry with this all the time. I think the new 3:10 to Yuma with Bale and your guy from Gladiator is better than Unforgiven. Unforgiven was the most overrated must-watch movie I've ever been told about.
Unforgiven had great parts. The last scene was awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
It was a deep movie. The dialogue, it was cool. It was okay.
Best Western you've ever seen.
I would have liked to seen him when he was, the dude killing everybody before the wife tamed him.
You want a little prequel?
Yeah, give me a little prequel to the Unforgiven. Unforgiven is okay. I wouldn't call it great. I thought 3:10 for Yuma was awesome.
I loved it. Well,
I thought it was better. And I thought it was better than the original too.
I would agree. There's the father element to it, though, right? The get you.
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Trying to look good for his son.
Yeah. And so no matter what, you finish what you promise you do.
Give me your best Western, not the cheap hotel. Give me your best Western for guys out there that just looking for something to do, because we're apparently all getting locked up again. So give me a Western that I got to go find and watch.
Well, you've had to have seen Outlaw Josie Wells.
Not yet. No, I think I did. I take it back. I think I did. I've seen like 4 of the
Let me just give you a line from Outlaw Josie Wells. He's in there. He's found this little town.
Give it to me, though. Is the Outlaw Josie Wells where he's trying to protect his house?
No.
Which one's that?
Trying to protect his house.
Dirty. What?
I don't know. But Outlaw Josie Wells, he's a cowboy dude, and he's just badass. And he, was in the Civil War and blah, blah, blah. So all these people were trying to get him. He's in at the bar. Guy goes away, but he comes back in. I said I had to come back. Or no, before he goes away, he goes, "You a bounty hunter?" Clint Eastwood says, "You a bounty hunter?" Guy goes, "Man's got to make a living." He looks over at him and goes, "Dying ain't much of a living, boy."
So I'll go look that up.
So then he walks out, and then he comes back and goes, "I had to come back." Goes, "I knew you did." The Outlaw Josie Wells might be the quintessential cowboy western movie.
Were there any John Wayne ones you like seeing? I've watched a bunch
if you
of the
want
old spaghetti westerns, but
I watch them all the time. I've watched Real Bravo recently. It's still good. Tie Yellow Ribbon was nice. Black and White. The Searchers, if you like a deep John Wayne movie, where it's and a young Natalie Woods is in that movie. I think her first movie as an adult. I don't know. Anyway, Searchers are really good. Really good. I watched War Wagon the other day with Kirk Douglas and John Wayne.
Where you fall on Tombstone? Where you fall on Young Guns? Some of the modern ones.
I love Tombstone. I'll be a Huckleberry. I love Tombstone. I actually liked Wyatt Earp. I got the warden to watch Dance with Wolves the other day. First time she'd seen that. Have you seen that?
No.
You've not seen Dancing with Wolves, and you're 45 years old?
Isn't it like 3.5 hours?
Of great.
Yeah, I ain't watching no 3.5 hour movie.
You've watched the Broncos, you just admitted, for 3+ hours of that, and you can't sit and watch one of the great movies of cinematography history?
So can I tell you my problem? I watched Field of Dreams.
Good movie.
I've watched plenty of Costner flicks. Bull Durham.
Good movie.
And then there's a story about what Costner did while he was, what was it? Costner was following around a certain baseball player, and then maybe the baseball player left a little early, and there's just all sorts of rumors as to what's going on. I can't look at Costner anymore.
Oh, that was The Perfect Game or something.
Yeah, sure.
That was a good movie, though. That was a good movie.
Yeah, well, he did a lot of research.
No, seriously.
A lot of research for that.
Yeah, well, that was Cal Ripken's wife, yeah.
You said it, not me.
Well, everybody knows that.
I don't know, dude.
It's like kind of like spoiling Pulp Fiction. I mean, it's 20 years. I mean, that was 15 years ago. I mean, come on now.
It's like 35 years
I don't know how you haven't seen Dance with Wolves.
Because if it's real long, like I had to, I think I finally took in Titanic in like 2 sittings. Dude, I told you the damn Lord of the Rings. There's like, I got to take a week off to get the damn Lord of the Rings in. There's something about a 3.5 hour movie. The Departed is the only 3 hour movie I can do.
Departed. Which one is that one? I know I've seen it.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yeah.
DiCaprio. He's the Irish kid.
And you got
Marky Mark.
Yeah, well, what's his name's the dirty cop that's feeding all the information.
That's a great. When they're in the freaking garage and there's texting going back and forth and both sides are trying to figure out where the other one is, damn, man. But see, I like stupid ones like The Town. You ever seen The Town?
Yeah.
With Affleck, and he's just an angry Boston guy.
Yeah, but robs banks and stuff. That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
Well, so, maybe you and I will sit around and watch a few movies. Maybe we'll start mixing in a movie review now that HBO Max can have all the new movies. So, you know what else I got going on? One of my bands, and again, I like music that most people don't, but one of my bands, Goldfinger's, putting out an album tonight, and I ordered the big package from them that, going to get a vinyl sent to me and all. I'm really excited about it. I got Less Than Jake with it. When was the last time you were excited for a music release? Has iTunes ruined that?
Yes.
Here's the release date for you.
Yes, you want me to play a song for you on my phone over the mic?
Why do you like doing that? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, because it drives you crazy. It drives you crazy.
Well, because it's like, here, tell me what this song is. What? We've got access to all of them in the studio, and you're playing it. Yeah, but you're like holding your earphone.
Do you realize who is in the studio for our show?
But that's why you should tell them ahead of time so we can all just hear it.
But I don't know. I don't know half the time. All of a sudden, someone's talking about, all of a sudden mentions Chris Cross. Well, guess what? Now, if I was running the board, I'd have it up there, been playing the music right away. But we got a guy sitting there. I've got a little bald back here. I don't know if I should No, maybe. What did they just say?
Is he going to listen to this?
I don't know.
Seriously, when was the last time you were excited for it? You don't have any.
I have no idea.
Do you have any artists that you even get excited for? What about Five Finger Death Punch?
I had tickets to go see them during the sickness, during the COVID, and they canceled
sickness, like the
and they canceled it and haven't rescheduled. I love Five Finger Death Punch. Good concert.
Do you even try to search this? Like,
no, I don't. I don't even pay attention.
That makes
because
me
you know what?
Because you're a big music guy.
Well, I drove over here today, listened to holiday music, but I usually have it 7 on 70s on my Sirius. Boom, boom, boom.
I got some great Blink-182 Christmas songs, by the way.
Yeah, whatever. No, I don't pay attention to albums. I don't know who's dropping albums. Some will say something's hot, then I'll listen to it, whatever. Some's good, some ain't.
Do you have an artist that no matter what they put out, you're buying it? Do you still have one of those?
No.
Is it Neil Diamond? Like Neil Diamond drags his old ass out of his house and drops an album?
No, it's got before I even listen to it, it'll probably have to be a hit.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. The last group I was like that we couldn't wait for new albums, honestly, it was when I was in it was mid-70s, and it was Led Zeppelin.
So if Led Zeppelin finds a way to get the brain out of John Bonham and put him in whatever so that they can play a little music, you buying that album?
No. I'll just download the hits.
It's good to hear.
Dude, do you understand when I was a kid?
Your loyalty.
Do you understand when I was a kid how many $8, $9, $12, $15 you drop on an album to listen to 2 good songs?
Well, no, iTunes has made you put out better stuff. I get that.
Yeah.
But,
so no, I'll just go to iTunes.
Well, that makes
just go
fun.
to iTunes.
What do you look forward to in your life anymore? Huh?
This, Andy. This is the only thing that
Our time together?
This is the only thing that's worth anything for
me. Well, when the warden hears about, your CSI takes and everything else, you can come live in this basement. We'll do one every day.
Yeah.
Who is that?
What? That's Led Zeppelin.
I know.
What do you mean, yeah? One of the greatest bands in the history of the world, period. In the sentence, world. The whole world. Still. Now, the funny thing is you listen to that, and actually their lyrics try to make sense, and it's kind of cool. That was considered hard rock back then.
Yeah, that's crazy now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got your devil's lettuce and your devil's music.
Yeah, because I have been to a Slipknot and a Tool concert also.
You are the devil. Anyway, that was all I had for you. I was just kind of curious. I mean, you're happy with my Christmas decorations?
I'm glad you finally got them up. I really appreciate it. I've noticed that the man cave basement, Andy zone, is completely devoid of Christmas.
We haven't even got it all out yet. That was one bucket that we got out of. We got like 10 sitting in there, and I don't want to take them out. Dude, this thing may be all kinds of winter wonderland.
But hey, how about this? I was supposed to tell you this from the warden. When in Colorado are you supposed to have your decorations down by?
I'm Catholic, so the old Catholic tradition is the Feast of the Epiphany, which is January 6th, when the wise men, they weren't just there the night it happened. They weren't like, hey, is she done? Is he out yet? Hey, we got gifts for you. Hey, all right, we come on in. Balthazar, whatever it was, Barabbas wasn't just like, hey, we clear? We good? No, man, they showed up like weeks later. So when that feast comes up, that's when you take them down. But in Colorado, the tradition is the stock show, which I don't think we're having. So does that mean you ain't getting your Christmas decorations down?
That means you get to have them up all year long this year.
You don't want that, do you?
I don't care, Andy.
Yeah, you do.
No, I really don't.
Come on, a little bit you do.
Not at all.
Hey, we're in the tree of trust.
Yeah,
I don't. Around. She can't hear us.
I don't care that they're up. I don't care that they're down. They look nice when they're up. It ain't my thing, so guess what I don't have to do?
Take them down.
I don't have to take them down or put them up.
But don't you get a little tired of, don't you just kind of want your space back after a bit?
I live with a slob, Andy. I have no space.
See, again, that room over there is going to make a great bedroom for you, and right here you'll have your own little living space.
I can stay up and watch your TV?
Yeah.
Can we get a little bigger, although it's a good picture?
Oh, my 50-inch ain't enough for you all of a sudden, huh?
That's
well,
50?
When you move in, bring it.
That's 50?
Yeah, that's 50.
Do you remember the price of TVs when they first came out, all the good stuff?
Do you remember lugging those? Speaking of being truck guy, do you remember trying to lug around
how heavy
the big
those
old tube TV?
Yeah. But even the first flat screens were heavier than snot, right?
Oh, yeah. Now you can pick these up one hand.
They have, I saw the other day, for under $500, a new flat screen, 85-inch.
Yeah, how about
For like $500. 85 inches. Well, that's massive.
You go get it.
I don't need a TV.
Bring it on over here.
I don't watch. You know what? I watch more TV in December than any other time of the year because the Hallmark Channel is just rolling out the good movies.
And you're crying. You're weeping.
I got one the other day. Got me 4 times. 4 times.
Real quickly, you going to go in? Are you and I going to be playing? I don't think I am because we're not going to find it. So it's a stupid question. You trying to get this Xbox thing? Have you seen what's going on? Walmart Black Friday, 15 seconds. Xbox, PS5, both gone, all done.
Well, why don't you just order one online and have it?
Because nobody has any. I think because of the COVID stuff, nobody was able to work where they actually produce them, which was China. So there's none for anybody to buy.
Well, I still got my old Xbox, but it was the one that had a lot of memory. I still miss buying games and wearing them out and then having to go get it again.
Did you get the new Call of Duty?
No, I haven't downloaded it.
I'll have to get it for you.
Whatever.
At that point, if you got a movie you want us to watch, let us know at Andy_Lindahl, at Scott Hastings. Please subscribe to the podcast. This is what we are. It's the Wandering Man Podcast. That's the Zoo Crew redo. And we love you.
Merry Christmas.